Good evening, warm welcome to the participants. Today I see many number people are attending LinkedIn Live. If you want to interact with me, you are always welcome to type in LinkedIn comment so that you can get the response. Today we are going to see the importance of data analytics in supply chain management. So first of all, what is data analytics? Why it is required? How it is going to support supply chain management? That's what we are going to see in our session. Allow me to share the screen. Hold on for a moment. Let me share the screen. So the topic of the day is data analytics for supply chain management. The way in which employers are looking at their candidate is changing day by day. You can observe the change in job requirements, even in the job posting. It is changing day by day. So let us see. Let me adjust the screen. I think still there is some issue. Yes. Now demand for people having knowledge about data analytics is going to either help them in getting a new job or grow in the current field. Let us see, understand what are the basic things about data analytics. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Pattabhiraman. This is my LinkedIn profile. Maybe you might have been already connected. If not, you can connect or follow with me. And this is my Udemy profile. I have recently enrolled in Udemy, but surprised to see more than nearly 1,000 candidates have enrolled in my program. That's the power of Udemy. Of course, the category of people who are looking for a program in Udemy is totally different, and it is very easy to attract such people by giving a nice title. But other case, it may not be possible. So this is the Udemy and LinkedIn profile. Coming to my background, I am an engineer with a PG qualification in management and data science. I have nearly 2.5 decades working in this organization, and I have started my career with Bosch in a planning function and handled various subdomain within the supply chain. I have been heading supply chain in this organization for the last 10 years, and currently I am heading the organization known as Expert ACM, a unit of Thoughtware Training Private Limited. As far as certification is concerned, you should be knowing if you are in the supply chain. These are globally recognized certification from OPICS, and if you are in the job market, better you have to do this certification. Also, there are some certification from a similar organization known as Demand Driven Institute. They also provide a equivalent certification similar to OPICS. I am also a certified purchasing manager and a project management professional, apart from qualified in analytics. Coming to our organization, we are based in Bangalore, 5-year-old organization. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain, logistic, and procurement. And one of our popular program, which is recognized world over, is supply chain analytics. So today we are going to discuss some in depth about this topic. If anyone is interested in interacting with me, you are always welcome to type in the comments so that you are able to get a response. Okay, but coming to the training on data analytics, maybe there are a lot of confusion in the market because there are one category of people who are training separately for supply chain, possibly one more category we go depth into analytics, but the application wise, it is not suitable directly to supply chain. Also, I have seen many people putting in the resume all Power BI, Tableau, Python, or something. possibly they don't even know where what kind of tools can be used. Many of the time, if you go and ask the trainer about inventory optimization, he may not be clear what we are talking. But finally, the market is having a lot of mix. And if you need a good training on supply chain analytics or data analytics, you need to go to a domain expert who is having analytics knowledge. That's where you are going to get a good training. Coming to the employees are very clear. Now they have changed the designation. They are calling the people as supply chain analyst, inventory analyst, material analyst, like this. So they are looking for a domain expert who knows this tool. So first you have to become a domain expert and try to see when what kind of tools can be used. And these tools are useful if your organization is fairly large and you have complex arrangement, and you do more than say 1,000 transactions per day, either in terms of receiving material or planning for material or dispatching to the customer. So if you consider monthly transaction, it could run in tens of thousands of transactions. That time, using a plain Excel may not help you. This is where some analytical tools is required. Before we go to analytical tool, let us understand the difference of data science and data analytics. Data science is a overall medium which has several scientific processes and methods, especially all the algorithm, with the intention of extracting insights or knowledge about particular subject or organization. It is closely related with data mining, so it's a wider subject. If you want to get much deeper into data science, then there is a separate program available, especially in the universities, where they go domain free into deep into the topic. But for us, we are not interested in learning entire aspects of data science, because we are not going to use everything directly. Here you need to be expert in the domain and then selectively use what is applicable. This is where data analytics comes into picture. Many organizations, they create tons of data everywhere in all the processes, and many times they don't even see the data. If you can extract information from data and use it in day-to-day working, you are definitely going to improve the performance of both your individual working as well as organizations working. Okay, so data analytics is a part of data science, and it involves analyzing any form of raw data with the intention of making conclusion or prediction. It can capture or fetch important information like metrics, trends that could otherwise lost in massive pool of information. Okay, you can get some more idea when you see this table. Here there is a comparison between data science and data analytics. Scope is macro in case of a data science, which is something like a superset, whereas data analytics is a micro. It is one section of data science, and the target is like asking right question, device data driven solution. Whereas in data analytics, we are going to use it for finding actionable insights, generate business reports. Use of big data is also one area where pure software training people confuse. In our day-to-day working as a supply chain professional, we don't need to use big data. If we are using big data, then you are in the pure data science field. For us, that is not required. We need some form of a data, possibly even if you consider 1 million transaction in a month, it's not called big data. It is still a small or medium data. So for a supply chain professional, data analytics is sufficient. And do we handle unstructured data? Maybe in data science, yes, but data analytics, yes, possible, but not so much. And coming to statistical knowledge, we need some basic to intermediate understanding in data analytics, whereas in data science, you need complete understanding of statistics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, to some extent data analytics. So here you see even the last statement, programming tool none to basic. This is where we use preliminary tools like Python or SQL. They are very easy to use tool. Like if you are convenient with Excel, you should be also going to be convenient in this type of a tool. That's where you need to understand what is applicable as a supply chain professional. It is more of a data analytics, not a big data, not a deep learning. All that are not required. Okay, but there are a lot of misguidance in the market. You have to be careful. And when you do any project in analytics in supply chain, there is a model called CRISP DM. It is nothing but a cross industry standard process for data mining. It involves six steps, starting from business issue understanding. Suppose in the supply chain, you should know what are the pain points or the challenges, and you cannot take entire supply chain as your target. You have to work either process improvement, cost reduction, or some target. This is where a business issue understanding comes into picture. Maybe you have to take approval from your bosses that I am going to optimize inventory or going to increase the service level, and approval should be there because it involves time and effort when you take up any data analytics project. Okay, second step is understanding the data, and third step could be data preparation. Maybe there are a lot of missed data or wrong data is available. So in the data analytics project, 60 to 70% is time spent for the data preparation. Then comes analysis, modeling. Finally, you have to validate presentation and visualization. All this is where the Tableau or Power BI comes. But for some supply chain executive, this tool is going to give some inputs where there is a problem, and finally we have to go and attack the problem. This data analytics tool itself will not solve the problem. It will give insight or actionable insight to the data so that we are going to go and perform in the field. But there is a confusion in a pure analytical training. They are interested only implementing software solution. Organization are not looking for only software solution. Finally, if you want to reduce ITR, increase ITR, inventory turnover from 5 to 10, the tool can give you some insight. Finally, you have to go and implement so that requires a deep understanding about the domain. Okay. Coming to the other activity like data collection, I have seen many organizations, traditional organization, the data availability or collection itself is a problem. They are not capturing the required correct data to process. So here and there data will be missing. And if you want to do any collection, then it requires additional effort or maybe some correction to your ERP or similar tools what you are using. But unless the required data is there, you cannot do any analytics with it. Okay, so data collection step is a major one. You should understand what data is available, but what is required to do meaningful analysis is also important. Okay, possibly there are lot of kinds of data is available in the general field. It could be a text or number or image or audio, video or biometrics. You can see the various sources available, but for us, for supply chain analytics, mostly we deal with number, possibly sometime text that can help us in interpreting the customer complaints or any review given, all that. But there are application other than supply chain, possibly that's where audio, image or video may be required. That is not directly concerned with the supply chain metrics. Coming to elements of big data, you should understand what amounts to the big data, because The file what you are going to handle in your laptop or desktop definitely is not a big data. Okay, even you can use open a file, excel file for example, 200 MB worth file, but that is not big data. So you need to understand what is big data. Maybe you can see different way we quantify the size. MB is something like 2 to 10 to the power of 20 gigabyte. Normally we have this capacity and memory, but still if you have 1 GB data in Excel, you may not be able to open the file. Okay, so if it is 1 GB and above, or even possibly TB and above, then it becomes data. But the size alone is not big data. There are other things like apart from size, whether the data handling, are we doing it in a batch or periodic, real time, or data variety. So you have seen in the previous slide different things of formats of data is coming, but for us this is clarity is should be required. If you are looking for handling big data, then it's not a supply chain professional job, it is some data scientist job. We need some basic data analytics and the necessary tool to perform our duty in a better way. Of course, many of you watching in the LinkedIn live, if you have any comments, you can always type in the LinkedIn comment. I will be able to respond if you have any questions. Of course, I have seen many people putting in their resume Power BI and Tableau, something like that. They are only a visualization tool. They are nothing to do with basic data analytics. It is a last step in presenting the data to the management. Before that, there are a lot of steps involved. Okay, this is where you need to focus. Of course, making a graph is only a small portion of it. So don't go directly and for a Power BI or Tableau, that's not required. You should also understand basically what type of graph should be done, because you know hundreds of varieties of graphs are possible. Like for example, trend line, column line, heat map, spot chart, and you should understand what is the relationship in the given data, and for which what are the keywords used. For example, change, rise, increase, fluctuation, growth. All this is a time series data for which you can go for trend line, column chart, something like that. Whether is it a part to whole or something like that, you need a different chart. So, even preparing a chart, you need to understand what is the relationship given in the data and what are the keywords we are trying to use in the data. Unless you are clear there, using the Power BI or Tableau is not going to help. Okay, so also there are number of dimensions which you should be clear. Generally, we use two dimension like x and y, but many people they go behind that, and we'll see an example in the coming slides. Maximum currently you can go up to six dimension to represent in a graph, but you should be clear certain items can be represented in a graph, or certain things should be represented only in the table format. So this clarity should be there, not that everything asked can be presented in the graphical format. Let us see a simple five-dimensional or six-dimensional graph. Here you can see x-axis is quantity, y-axis is sum of sales, then color is a state. Okay, you can see different colors are there here. The shape here is also different, which represents the category. You can see square, triangle, and round. All this are there. Then size, even with a particular color, the sizes are different. And sixth dimension could be even animation. You can make something blinking, but you have to be very careful in using this graphics. Whether your intended recipient is it he or she in a position to understand what you are presenting. Possibly you might have observed in many TV shows or even the newspaper, they give this type of complicated graphical representation, and even for many educated people, understanding a graph is difficult. So finally, visualization should reach the people who are interested or who are the stakeholder who has to understand. So when we talk about data analytics, one is collecting the data, preparing the data, then doing the analysis. So for analysis, the tool can be even Excel if your data is limited, but many of the time when you need a pure data analytics, you need to know at least SQL or Python. And for this kind of data presentation, possibly Power BI or Tableau are very important. Now, coming to employees, to give an idea of what employees are looking in the candidates, if you are in the job market, you can see the difference compared to previous years and currently. Not only at a junior manager level, you can see a position from Johnson and Johnson. They are talking about a general supply chain analytics manager. So it's almost a senior level, but you can see that they have mixed the words supply chain analytics for a very senior level person. So they expect him to know some of the analytics they have mentioned, advanced MS Excel, which includes macros, something like that, for a person who is higher in the hierarchy. Coming to one more organization, Caterpillar, they are looking for an inventory analyst. Okay, they have given some of the tools people are expected to know. Here, you have to assume that these people are not recruiting software people. They want a domain expert who has this additional knowledge. Like Excel is everybody is using, but you need to also have some additional tool when the data is more or you have shortage of time. So Python has lot of algorithm which can do the work for you. Okay, there is one more company called Target. They are looking for a inventory analyst, and there is one more called supply chain business analyst. There is one position from Flipkart. Of course, this was slightly older posting, maybe a few months back. I have taken Flipkart calls for senior analytics manager. Here they have not even mentioned the supply chain. They have, but if you read the specification, it talks about supply chain manager. Okay, so you should be careful even when you are searching through the job portal. Some jobs will not be shown if you are only looking for supply chain. You should add analytics to the supply chain, then you may get a wider choice. So I was able to locate when I go through the job portal and put only supply chain analyst, you are able to get lot of position. Okay, whether it's a manufacturing or distribution companies, but here we are not looking in pure analytical companies. Here whatever I am showing is more of a manufacturing domain or distribution or consulting domain. You need to have the specific capability. If you are searching for a job, whatever may be the level, we have seen it's applicable either junior or mid or senior level. So there are a lot of things I was able to find in the recent times, whether it's a procurement or logistics or a core supply chain. You need these analytical capabilities. Okay, possibly many of you may be wondering why I have not got the interview call. This could be the reason why you are not able to receive the call. I have made some job requirements, but mainly what they are talking is you should be still strong in your domain. Okay, one is you should have a complete end-to-end supply chain knowledge, and possibly there are subdomains available. For example, demand planning means you should be expert in demand planning or inventory planning or supply planning. Then comes the additional skill set. Okay, this is what most of the people are looking apart from the global certification which I have shown in my profile. Those things are expected by the employees currently. So many of you, if you are not receiving interview, it's the right time for you to engage in this. In this aspect, I have found a big vacuum in the market. There are a lot of people doing independently some software program and some supply chain training. Both are not interrelated, and a big vacuum is there. Our program tries to connect this, applying this analytical tool to the challenges in the supply chain field. This is what management wants. When they say, I want a supply chain analyst, they are not looking for people who are qualified in Python or Power BI. They want you to know how to use these tools to improve the performance. That's what is the requirement we are trying to cover in our program, which is online, live, interactive. We also have a recorded self-paced program is possible. Live program usually happens in the weekend. So if you are looking for any support in your career growth, we are available. You can visit the site, or even you can get in touch with our executive using this WhatsApp number. Now, next few minutes, I am available to take question. If any one of you interested, you can type in LinkedIn command so that I can respond to you. You can always type your comment in the LinkedIn comments. Though this live stream is available in other social media, I am using LinkedIn Live for better communication with the professional. Possibly, if someone of you watching offline at a later point of a time, you can always reach to our executive. In fact, we have our own channel YouTube where these videos are stored. More than 100 similar videos are available on various subtopics in the supply chain. Any questions? Okay, thanks for attending. Have a nice evening. Also, nice weekend. We will see next time. Bye.